All right, y'all. Welcome back to Visionary Sanctum. We're doing some things a little bit differently over here on the visual side. So it does not apply to our audio girls. But I'm playing around with color. And today we are orange. I was researching the chakras and I feel like orange might be appropriate for today. So first off, a lot happening. And that has prompted the name of this episode, which is the coexistence of joy and oppression. Right now, we're quote unquote living in unprecedented times. And I like to say quote unquote because in the Black experience, times are always unprecedented. Unfortunately, a lot of what we are experiencing now, the Black experience has already encompassed that state-sanctioned violence and separation of women, children, and families. Routine. And it's sick. And now it seems to be applying to everyone, and everyone is feeling the burn, despite tons of warning from the Black community that it would not just be us, that anybody can get it. And now folks are scrambling. So this body of work will be a piece where we're going to document that journey. Like I've mentioned before, I do not think we're coming out of this anytime soon, but I do think that we will come out of it. And it's going to take work. It's going to take sacrifice, and it's going to take community. It's going to take for all of us to dig deep into a part of ourselves that many may have never believed that they would need to access in the first place. So that is the tone of today's episode. Starting off with the check-in, RIP Shirley Raines. When I saw that news, I was shocked. And I'm honestly still in denial. I refuse to believe that she's actually passed away. Talk about somebody who's done some really, really impactful work. And when we talk about the coexistence of joy and oppression, I think Shirley is a beautiful example of that. Doing a lot of the work that she did on Skid Row, giving back in abundance. I hope that experience for her was something beautiful and fulfilling for her soul before she departed. And I know that prior to a lot of the work that she did, she experienced a lot of personal hardship. And on top of that, losing her child. So carrying that burden and pursuing joy all at once is an uncomfortable space to exist in, but it's a necessary space. And it's a necessary walk that we all need to do within our lifetimes. So, addressing what is happening in Minneapolis. As I've discussed many times before, I'm from Minneapolis, and prior to moving to Chicago, I was living in South Minneapolis, and I lived pretty close to where most of the occupation is happening over in Midtown. And Alex Pretty was executed on 26th and Nicollet, and that piece of Nicollet is part of 8th Street. And 8th Street is several blocks of different businesses with a bunch of different food. And it's a fun place to walk around and explore if you're visiting the area or if you already live down there. I patronize many of the businesses down there. And that Glam Donuts is a place I've taken multiple people to for their first time ever to try that place. I had a friend who's actually from here that I took to Glam Donuts and ended up taking one of those really cute stickers that they have and putting it on their laptop as like a fun memory memento, if you will. Souvenir is the word that I'm looking for. But thinking about me in 2023, walking down 8th Street, if future me were to walk up to me and say, in 3 years from now, or 2, Trump will be president again, and he's going to militarize immigration and customs enforcement, and then put the city of Minneapolis under a paramilitary occupation. And under that paramilitary occupation, one of these immigration custom enforcement agents with the big gun is going to execute in cold blood a white American citizen right where you stand. My response would be, I need to stop eating these strong ass edibles before bed, because ain't no fucking way they are killing white people in the first year of Trump's second term. The first year, ambitious, crazy, nuts. A lot of progress in a short period of time, girl. But it just goes to show how fast things can change and why we should not take things for granted, why we should not take freedom for granted, why we should never take, as Black people, why we should never take, I know y'all can hear the sirens, that is confirmation, why as Black people, we should never take for granted all of the really, really hard work that our ancestors put before us. And we are now in a position where it's time for us to continue that work. We should never relax and say the work is done, because the struggle, it's never over. So in response to our socio-political climate, I have created an event. It is called Visionary Talks. Visionary Talks will be an ongoing series. And the first event is about the coexistence of joy and oppression. So that's what we'll be discussing. That is what this episode is about. And if you would like to join this conversation in real life, head over to Instagram and check out the link in the bio. We are prioritizing joy, and joy will be used as an act of resistance. I came across a study. We'll see if I can link it for you guys. Came across a study that was talking about the effects of racial discrimination, racism in general, and the toll that it takes on your body and how it causes inflammation. And this inflammation over time will shrink your lifespan and your quality of life. And that is what I would call robbery of joy. We spend all this time stressed out of necessity because of the types of things that we experience. And before we break our backs over anything, we need to be prioritizing the things that we love in life and self-discovery wherever we can, whatever little bit of piece of time that we have, use it for you. Because the last thing you need to do is be giving your last energy, your last breath over to these people and over to the system that is actively trying to kill you. Let's get into the topics. The world's longest check-in. I'm going to talk about a lovely, joyful experience I had recently. And we'll get into some more about the political backdrop that we're experiencing. And I will talk even more about the event that I just mentioned to you guys that will be happening on February 7th. And the process behind it, and what the goal is and what we're going to do and how we're going to move forward. Okay. And then we'll do our word. So starting off with this joyful night, I kind of entitled it and wrote a short story, and it's called The Elixir. So what happened? This was a few weeks ago, and this is my first time being on set for someone else's personal podcast kind of project, which was really, really dope. And somebody I had recently met had invited me to that set. So I got to have fun with this new experience, and I was able to see all the incredible things that come with them. He brought a lot. So shout out to him. Shout out to you, Ethan. I had a smile on my face underneath my mask that entire day, experiencing something new and learning a lot and being able to bring it back to my own projects moving forward. And then after while we were on set, somebody runs and to go do a coffee run, and I'm very sensitive to caffeine. I already had me a little piece of coffee before I got there now. So several hours in, I got this espresso in my system. I'm lit, I'm extra organized, and I'm lit, I'm extra energized, and I had to dip. So I leave and I go over to a friend's house and we split this bottle of wine. And when I tell you, after I had that bottle of wine and I'm talking to my homegirl, we get into it because it's about a little wine, it's a little piece of dinner, and we got to chill in and debrief and decompress before we go out. And I tell you, that wine had me feeling extra friendly, and that boost from the espresso, I was on top of the world, like, oof, I'm ready to go. And then we got a chance to smoke. So I go to the next spot, and it is a open jam, an underground art gallery situation. It was the basement of an art collector, and it's set up like a speakeasy. And so my friends who are performers are up there making it happen like they always do. Now we done smoked a little bit. Now I'm feeling this little piece of wine, girl. I got that energy boost from the espresso. I am feeling incredible and smiling in everybody's face. Sometimes in social spaces, I can start off pretty stiff, and as other spaces, I'm not necessarily comfortable or the most expressive. I'm like way, way more stiff. And it was nice to feel that tensity had been carrying over my body, just release. Of course, ideally, you'd be able to do this through meditation and regulating your nervous system. But there's just so much happening right now. I needed that little bit of extra help of a release for one night. And that night, I felt this bit of joy, of excitement, of exploration that had been suppressed and covered because of the oppressive regime that we're living under come to the surface. And it was such a beautiful experience to walk around free, smiling, yapping, dancing, hugging for no freaking reason, and feeling very sensual as well. Sensuality is something for me that's been very, very blocked, very under wraps. But that night I was like, wow, wow, this is so great. And it's just so fun. Like, I just want to move and just... And I love that part of myself. And I love that she got to be free. Leaving that night, being able to reflect on it, it made me have a whole new appreciation for those who curate nightlife with a passion. I'm connected to a lot of DJs that DJ with music is a passion of a spiritual connection to creating sonic experiences that move the body. And there's a lot of spiritual connections to what it means to move your body and releasing trauma through the hips, connecting energetically with those around you. It can be a full-on liberating experience. And even if it's just for a moment, it's something that matters. And it's something that we all deserve to experience. So I'm going to try to get into some more underground stuff. We'll see, because it's just freeing. I find myself I guess I don't. I intentionally avoid it, but there's a lot of club environments or like places where people are more concerned about their phones and aesthetics rather than release. And I try to avoid those, but I've been connecting with more folks and more spaces where it's just about a movement and freedom. And I'm going to prioritize that more. I'm not going to think so much about how do I look when I dance, or is this awkward, or am I being too friendly, too sensual, too flirty? I deserve to exist in all those ways. And if everything I have can be taken tomorrow, I might as well live to the fullest today. Speaking of that, and with all of that, I do want to return back to some of the political points I went off on earlier. With the political backdrop that we are under, since I'm here in Chicago, I did see a lot of the bombardment that had happened under ICE, and me witnessing them having their own cute little parade downtown with their big guns. What a fucking mess. And then them going to my hometown and having a field day over there. It feels like no break, and they're talking about returning. So that is like a looming pressure, not just over me, but over my community. And it's what I'm constantly getting smacked with online over and over and over again. And I'm talking about it with my mom, and she's stressed about this, that, and the third. And then with everything happening so close to home, obviously I'm constantly thinking about my family. I'm checking on them. I'm checking on my parents and seeing what's going on with work. I'm checking on my aunt, and who told me that my cousin was pepper sprayed by ICE. Love that. Another family member, talking to them about grocery shopping and being safe, or trying to be as safe as you can. Obviously people try what they can. And their response to me was that they have their passport on them. And I said, well, you can't give them your passport. They'll say it's not real, or they won't give it back to you. And their response is, it's not for that. It's just, if anything does happen to me, at least, the public will know that I was a citizen. And I'm like, this shit is too real. Too real. Like, being black in Minnesota, Minneapolis especially, but it is already hard. Y'all have seen the stuff that made the news with Philando Castile, George Floyd, those specific situations. But it's just like this is an element of hostility toward Black people that's not going to be discussed for a while, because we see a lot of participation in the protest. But when this stuff is happening to Black people directly, people just seem not to care until it's too late, or until stuff really, really goes off the deep end. People are whistleblowing and ringing the alarm well before incidences like that happen, that are fully recorded. So it's that element further impacted on top of that. Now we have to, as Black people, not only do we have to worry about the police in general, who also, and on many occasions, have gotten away with executing Black bodies in the street. Now we have an extra layer of police, which is ICE, that can also kill you in the street and get away with it. We got two different groups. And then you also have to deal with this factor of constantly seeing online, constantly experiencing white liberals, especially, saying, oh, things are getting really bad. Oh, I'm so tired. You're tired after 1 year. Oh, I'm so tired. Things are really scary, really hard. Like, they're just killing everybody now. So it was cute when it wasn't everybody. Things have already been bad. It's bad for everybody. So now if it's got to the point where it's bad for everybody, it's really scary for the rest of us, girl. A situation in specific that comes to mind is Keith Porter, who did not get the same coverage that Renee Good and Alex Preddy got. And I knew that he was killed by ICE, an off-duty officer, which I said, ooh, extra red flag. But I did not know until recently that he was killed in his apartment building, his apartment, which just tells me that if somebody is an ICE agent, whether they're on duty or off duty, especially if they're off duty and they're a raging, murderous racist, they can just go sign up for ICE and kill anybody they want, whether they're on or off duty. It is a free pass to lynch. And these are the things that are flowing around my head all the time. These are things that are weighing on my spirit. I can feel my chest getting tight just discussing these topics. In some way, somehow, my Black ass is out here gathering community, trying to figure out how can we prioritize joy. Audacious. And before I expand even more on joy, I want to do a quick word for folks to understand the gravity of what we are dealing with. We do not have an issue with ICE. We have an issue with police. When people were marching the streets and running around and writing articles and pursuing policy change, saying abolish police, that is when you were supposed to stand up and do something. That is when you were supposed to fight. The vulnerability is constant policing as a system, as an institution in America. As long as we have that, we are all vulnerable to all of this. Black people have already been experiencing this with police. From execution to illegal detainment. Not new. Illegal detainment of minors and children. Not new. And another thing with minors, trying Black kids as adults and being in these detention centers that are inhumane, experiencing violence at the hands of the state inside of these facilities, sexual assault, all of that. The separation of families through the state, even if it's not necessarily directly through police. We have other systems designed to break up Black families. It's like fascism has already been a part of the Black experience. So, by eliminating police, we fix the issue. If for some reason things begin to calm down and ICE is gone, this whole thing that is happening can happen again. All right. With that being said, all of that weighing on our spirits, okay? In our experience, we have joy as a form of resistance. We have art as a form of resistance. We have rest as a form of resistance. Now, I'm going to use this nice sociology degree on y'all that I paid for, okay? That I worked for. Resistance, revolution, everybody's role is not the same. Everybody does not need to be on the front lines protesting. We do need that, but that will not be the only form. The system affects every single aspect of your life. Your quality of life, your health care, the type of food that you have access to, the type of education that you have access to, the type of jobs that you have access to. Everything. Your mental health. We do a lot of talking about how do I regulate my nervous system? I'm just so anxious. I'm just so nervous. Some of us are just depressed. It's like if the depression would go away, if the poverty would go away, you would be a happy camper. You know, there's some life circumstances that if they were altered and life was easier, you would not be experiencing this. It's like if we could change the environment, we could change, like your body is responding to your experience. And so the experience in your environment, and it's not your body's fault for being in survival mode. It's trying to take care of you. It's natural. So what I want for you to do, if you have any moment in the day, if there's that one dish in the sink, don't hate me, Black people. If there's that one dish in the sink and you got to get up and go walk to it, but your bed is feeling really comfortable and you have not had rest and God knows how long, take that 15 minutes of sleep. That's resistance, babe. They want you to walk around exhausted. They want you to be angry. They want to pull that out of you. Take that little bit of rest. You got that grace period at work. Maybe you should use I'm not saying use the grace period all the time. I'm just saying if you got a little piece of grace period, go ahead and use that grace period. That's for you, babe. You do that. If you have not used your PTO, go ahead and use it. Go ahead and use it. I hear the girls talking about FMLA. Think about using FMLA. When's the last time you've painted something? Do you like to paint? Maybe a paint by numbers if you don't want to create something original. Get a little paint by numbers. If money is an issue, find places you can do these things for free. There's a lot of places I know here in Chicago. Even if you were to start on the Chicago Public Library website, there's events and stuff, and you can figure out about crafting for free, or something has materials provided. There's different sites that you can use. You can use Eventbrite, you can use Pi, you can use Instagram, any of that stuff. Get access to some resources for free. Sometimes some churches that are really involved with community programming can point you in the directions to have fun at a low price. Okay. Maybe you want to bake. Find a place that got free groceries. Maybe you want to bake. Maybe you want to learn to crochet. Pop on a YouTube video, even if it's just for 10-15 minutes. You do that. Maybe you want to party. Now, when I say party in reason, because I did bring up mixing, espresso and wine, a little bit of weed. Those are all very casual things to mix together, guys. But maybe you want a little bit of a release. Maybe you want to go out, shake that ass, pop that coochie, sister. Do that. You deserve all of that time to prioritize you. Maybe there's a business that you want to start. Maybe something that has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with anything capitalistic, and you haven't done it yet. Maybe there's this cute little hairstyle that you want to do. Do it. If it's just for 5 minutes. Think about all the time that you spend scrolling. Scrolling is what they want you to do. They want you to scroll. They want you to spend less time pouring into yourself. Maybe there's a book you really want to read, but you get a little distracted, play the audiobook in the background while you clean up a little bit. Or while you lay down. You don't have to do anything. We're talking about resistance. Less work. Do it. Do it. Do it. Okay? All of that is for you. And when I talk about joy as a form of resistance in my life, I've had a really difficult time after graduating and the job market being really tight, and being Black, if I have not mentioned that enough, and being Black, making it even more difficult to get a job. Yes, it's difficult for a lot of people to get jobs right now. It is even harder if you are Black. Doesn't even matter if you have an education. Still that much harder if you are Black. And I have not been able to find anything. And so now I've moved on to creating opportunity for myself, because that is my active resistance and seeking support from my community. I've been working very hard. It has not been an easy journey, but to empower myself, I've gone everywhere under the sun to build community with people who have mutual interest. And it's turned into connection to resources, and it's turned into opportunity. And I'm going to be paying that forward. My next act of resistance is this event that we are getting into, the Visionary Talk, something that I can do for the people, because this is a topic that is heavy, that is weighing on a lot of people's spirits right now. And I want to be able to provide that conversation in real life. Folks are saying, the revolution will not be televised and we need to get offline. Y'all talk too much. Just go offline and do it. Make it happen. There's no, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, what do you want to see right now? Be the change that you want to see in the world. If there's something you want to go make happen, go do it. Don't be online critiquing people who are actually doing something in their comments. Get up and go do it. This is a conversation I want to have. It's been waiting on my spirit. So I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring the community together. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to give each other the tools that we need to pursue joy as a form of resistance. And then there'll be another topic, and then there'll be another opportunity to meet and grow and expand. And that's what I'm doing for my community. And I hope that we can all establish large networks that get us all closer to living the life that we want to live. Even if there's adversity or pushback, we're all in this together. You do not have to fight this out alone. I promise you. The last piece I'll mention for my personal joy, I have some great news today. I'm not sharing exactly because y'all will see what it is, but I am so filled with joy and energy despite all of that weight that I have experienced, and it keeps me reinvigorated, revitalized. There's some vitality to me now because of the beautiful things I'm experiencing. All that hard work I put in, things are coming into fruition, and nothing can stop me. Nothing. I'm so excited to create and provide space for you all and folks in my community, and to do it at a high level is going to be a beautiful experience. It's everything that I dreamed of. And I will do what I need to do to adjust to the times in order to execute everything that needs to be done. So the event in question. Last time I brought it up, I was talking about feeling very stressed about the space. Got the space. Like I said, if you check us out on Instagram at Visionary Sanctum, go to the link in the bio. You will see the link to RSVP. The event is on February 7th on the South Side. Throughout this process, I was able to practice exactly what I preached in that last episode, which was doing something uncomfortable anyway. A bitch got very uncomfortable. That shit is hard. It's really hard in practice, but I did it. It was hard, but I did it. And now I have a beautiful piece to put out into the world. And I was thinking about aesthetics. An aesthetic I'm going to play around with throughout all these upcoming concepts that I have will be ethereal transcendence. And nobody will be able to copy that because I have a specific vision of what ethereal transcendence is. And that is what we will experience when we walk into the door of any space that I have created. It's going to transcend and feel like a warm hug and transport you into another realm, which we love. And if ethereal transcendence sounds like something, a vibe that you are interested into stepping into, connecting with other Southside community members, we will be concentrating most of this stuff on the South Side if I can. I strongly suggest that y'all follow. Eventually, we will get an email list as well, but we will be engaging in full-blown programming for Visionary Sanctum. And I told y'all, this year was going to be Visionary Sanctum IRL, and I am acting on that. And today's word is more of a personal reflection that involves you and me. I'm personally going harder. I've been really stiff in the past, and everything that's been going on has shown me that nothing in this life is guaranteed. I know that I desire to be free, and so I am. And so you are. Together, let's dedicate ourselves to resistance. Do not let these people rob you of your joy. Let's fight together, cry together, eat together, dance together, whatever you need to do to release. By allowing yourself to experience both the pain and the joy, you hold on to your humanity. As a soul, you are here to thrive, even in the face of adversity. I know a lot of times with the way that Christianity is pushed on us, not the actual word or the original form of Christianity, but the white nationalist version of Christianity. That version tells us that if we're suffering, it's because that we're doing something wrong and we deserve it. If somebody is suffering in poverty, it's because they did something to deserve it. If you are Black and oppressed, you did something to come into this world to be Black and to be punished for it, and you deserve it because God said so. God did not say so. And in the Western world, something that we don't really get into is that sometimes in life, whether we like it or not, there is sacrifice. Sacrifice for the convenience that we have. Joy and oppression, joy and suffering coexist. Peace and chaos coexist. There is no one without the other. That's just reality. And when you accept that, you're able to empower yourself and move through the world in a way that best fits for you, despite everything that may be going on. That doesn't make it easy. It's very hard, but it's possible. And I believe in you. So on that note, we will close out the episode. Like I said, go check out the Instagram to see more about the event, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.